Welcome back. Jim and Chip are rejoining me. All right, Jim, WASDE, as I mentioned earlier, it did seem friendly soybeans. What were the biggest changes, and do we need every acre and a record yield to meet USDA's current expectations?
On the face surface with what they gave us, we surely do. But there's a big uncertainty we don't want to talk about. Do we have a trade deal with China or don't we? We need to remember that a lot of our usage does not start until September 1 and will carry over that next year. So we've got to keep alignment of what we've got here. We need good crush numbers, which that EPA, I need to clarify one thing. I said bushels. I need to say gallons. So again, when we look to that 4.65 billion gallons of biofuel, that's the proposal right now. So does that stick or not? Does the export demand come? And we need to remember on the tail end of the last Trump tariffs that we had, we watched nearly 590 million bushel increase in the export demand. Tanya, if we have that type of demand, even on half of it come in, we know that we need every acre and every bushel. And that's why I think this bean market is a second half of the year type market. If some of these weather forecasts of a hot, dry summer come into play, I think we've got some concerns for beans, and we could be talking beans back into the $11, $12, possibly $13 structure if the right demand and if, again, we have any hiccups along the way. If trade deals do not get worked out with China, then we've got a whole different complex here that we need to talk about. But I'm going to assume we're going to get some deal, we're going to see business, and again, we're going to have some issue along the way.
Yeah, Chip, I feel like optimism was high at the beginning of the week. We had this trade agreement with China, even though it's lacking details. We had WASDE that was kind of friendly. And then it seems like the energy just went out of this market. And so for farmers that still have old crop and new crop trying to figure out what to do, what's your advice, Chip?
Yeah, the old crop to me is a little bit easier in the fact that if you've held out this long, you might as well wait until we get deeper in the summer and see if there's a weather issue that comes along. We've had multiple chances in the past. So, at this stage, I think if you've held on to old crop, you're planning for a weather scare. That is similar to a new crop. I think Jim and I both pointed out that weather is still ahead of us. We really don't have a record crop in the bin by any stretch of the imagination, although the market kind of thinks so in the case of corn right now. But we got a lot of weather ahead of us, a lot of season ahead of us. And so there's going to be opportunities. I think that obviously the old crop, you need to have a short leash. And if you don't see much rally by the maybe July 4th or just shortly after that period, it might be time to cut that old crop loose.
Yeah, it does feel like the market thinks that we have a record yield at this point, and it's so early in the season. All right, Jim, with the wheat tour this week, does it feel like wheat has bottomed, and can it sustain a rally during harvest coming up?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think that's a lot on the people's traders' minds, anybody growing winter wheat. We're seeing this wheat tour come along. We're seeing really good yield reports in regards to year over year. Expectations are greater crop yield bushel. The concern is the quality of that crop. That crop has been through a lot. My concern is a lot of this might just work through the cash markets on finding quality wheat, which, again, I think there's quality wheat out there. I just don't think it's all quality wheat. And I think that's the dynamic that can start to get a market to wake up. But I want to be a little cautious on being premature. We lack story right now in wheat. It's where the funds are shortest. We need a little bit of a catalyst here to confirm a bottom. So I don't want to scream, hey, we got a reversal yesterday. We broke down a little bit this morning. We came back. I don't want to call this a bottom yet, but I think we're close. I don't know that wheat needs to spend time significantly below $5. So I think the setup's there. Now we need to see it, actually perform, not just for 2 days, but a few days, see some of these moving averages start to shift and start to develop some trade off it. I think you're going to have some ups and downs before we can actually say we've got the bottom, but I believe we're very close, time.
Chip, Jim, thank you so much for joining us. We need to take a quick break, and then we're checking in with Machinery Pete. That's next.